The History of Entrepreneurship, video number 5, the anti-cultures. With the subject of well-making, we discussed the settlement principles, but settlement creation in itself proves to be inadequate to provide for its people. The need for growing outward and to expand their lifestyle causes traveling trades to emerge. Without a doubt, traveling comes with its own special set of requirements and a force that propels change in the life of the whole community. To connect the various settlements, paths, and travel routes had to be built, and if you pay attention to the entrepreneurial train of thought here, we gotta stop for a moment. As someone actually had to have the idea of growing afar, mount a camel or horse carriage, and transport some personal provisions, craft products, and livestock, and plan a tour to those settlements. Now we today take this for granted, but back in those days, this kind of have required taking initiative and the knowledge of knowing what settlements are available in the neighboring countries and what it is worthwhile to go there for, what you're gonna get in exchange for your products. There seems an insignificant idea today to plan a trip. Out in those days and conditions, without a doubt, it qualified as an entrepreneurial venture. Simply to have the vision, the capacity to calculate the profit and plan a transportation method that will deliver the merchandise safely. It requires designing and planning skills particular to an entrepreneur. It had to also employ family members and servants who are adequately trained and plan for their moral and physical welfare for the duration of the tour. Taking care of those who are left behind, to supervise and care for the property and its welfare, safety. Eventually, the discomforts of long traveling and transportation methods presented a problem for progress and had been a burning problem for centuries before solution occurred. Travel routes were unsafe, strenuous, and unprovided for human necessities for long periods of distances. The need for stations to reload and on fresh supplies and provisions, regaining adequate rest, was greatly in need, and inspired certain forward-thinking initiative-taking individuals to take the risk and build such stations. In the early Middle Ages, the rest houses and inns began to occur for the traveling of information, messenger passers, and delivery service needs. They have added the service of changing stations equipped with horses. These stables that have choice exchange horses for faster traveling of the messengers had been used for thousands of years, all the way to the modern times when the automobiles appeared and solved one aspect of the problems, and that is the animal care, yet presented a new problem that was acquiring, storing, dispensing fuel. All these services are entrepreneurial ventures and thrived in their own time. Hospitality offered great opportunity and was a real need of the trading ventures throughout the entire history. The lack of safety of roads required often armed accompaniment, and it meant paid bodyguard services, not mentioning that the roads eventually were not only created but even built. Ancient Rome's major dominance and power is mainly credited to its infrastructure achievements, and rightly so. Many of them are still in use, especially its roads, Those historical roads are the most enduring proof of and model of enduring entrepreneurial significance. Great example of what is possible by providing for a real burning need of the community. Notice that first a burning need occurred, then the solution, then those who actually worked on creating the solution and bringing it into manifestation, and only then the service people. Now you need to see that those who had the customers who have been later using the services were there before the need. So this is actually a full cycle. With the occurrence of traveling, trading, the growing merchant population, the increase of livestock and material goods transported, and frequent security unrests on the travel routes, eventually a new need arose, and that had to do with the form of currency for trading. And we will not go into the factors that necessitated the pressure for a new form of trading and exchange method. That is subject for a later lecture. We're just going to mention here the conclusion that the need for money coins as currency has emerged under pressure. From its very first appearance, money showed itself to be a great problem solver device. This too will be discussed in a later lecture. Once the use of money began to spread, it opened up the doors for those entrepreneurs who found innovative ways and methods to use money itself as a merchandise. And later on in the cyber culture, also in the modern culture, when stock marketing comes in, we will return to usage of money as stock itself. This phenomena not only improved and refined trading styles, improved the community's lifestyle, but greatly envisioned a political and religious structure in the early Middle Ages, and eventually replaced the until known highest form of civilization of the antiquities. The roots of the Middle Ages is traceable back to the early stages of feudalism, though in general feudalism is dated in historical observation after the fall of the Roman Empire. I strongly recommend the student you to study the Old Testament story of Joseph, Jacob's son, who in my opinion is the only recorded inventor of the feudalistic structure. He did so under the instruction of God himself in his dreams, with his housekeeping over the assets of the Egyptian pharaoh, the hierarchy and the structure. He, without a doubt, prospered his country and governed the first feudalistic empire recorded in the Bible. I highly recommend here to read the story of Joseph from Genesis 30:24 to Exodus 13:19. Please do so by recognizing elements of entrepreneurship throughout its special period of the Old Testament times, even those that I have not mentioned. I have especially created this worksheet based on the story of Joseph and find it highly interesting to a modern day entrepreneur in the most unexpected ways. You can not really expect to call yourself a great entrepreneur without having the initiative and the willingness to work yourself through other great entrepreneurs' genuinely innovative material and finding the accomplishments within. That kind of assessment is kind of an absolute necessity. Your desire for research in your area and in your niche is probably the most defining character an entrepreneur can have, especially in the beginning stages of their business. Thank you very much for watching this video. I wish you all the best for working with your worksheet. See you in 24 hours or maybe a little later. at the video number 6, where we're going to begin to discuss the times of the feudalistic parts of history and bridging over to the dark ages of the Middle Ages. Thank you very much. Aloha.